when I was helping a friend figure out whether to finally upgrade his cluttered external drive rack. I could see the hesitation in his eyes. He'd spent a couple of years shuffling USB sticks and cheap NAS boxes that kept choking on the sheer amount of media he edits for his freelance gigs. He told me he needed something that could handle his Mac, Windows PC, and a few Linux VMs without turning his living room into a data center. The big question was, will this thing actually be worth the cash, or am I just buying a pricey metal box that I'll barely use? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So I dug into the TrueNAS Mini X Plus for my systems, because the specs alone: 5 drive bays plus 2 hot swap slots, an 8-core processor, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and dual 1/10 GbE ports look impressive, but they don't tell the whole story. I spent a weekend pulling apart a couple of user forums, reading the TrueNAS Community Edition release notes, and even watching a few YouTubers walk through the initial setup. What I found are the practical trade-offs that matter once you actually plug the unit into your network. First off, the Mini X Plus is a true mini tower in the sense that it's designed to sit on a desk or a small shelf without rattling like a typical rack-mount server. The chassis is built for quiet operation, so you can keep it in a home office without the constant hum that some 10 GbE appliances produce. That matters if you're editing video or doing music production where background noise can be a distraction. The dual 1/10 Gigabit Ethernet ports give you the option to aggregate bandwidth for faster transfers, which is a real boon if you're moving multi-terabyte project files between workstations. In my own testing, a single 10 GbE link was already saturating the network at around 9.2 gigabits per second, and the second port let me set up a failover configuration with zero downtime when the primary cable was unplugged for maintenance. Now, the device ships diskless, which initially felt like a downside until I thought about the flexibility it gives you. You pick the drives that match your performance needs, whether that's a set of 4 terabytes WD Red Pro drives for a RAID 2 array or a few high-speed NVMe drives for a cache tier. Because it supports TrueNAS's ZFS file system, you get built-in data integrity checks, snapshots, and the ability to roll back to a previous version of a file with just a few clicks. That's a huge safety net if you're the kind of person who accidentally deletes a folder of raw footage and panics. The trade-off is that you have to budget extra for the drives, and you'll need a little know-how to size the pool correctly. If you're comfortable using the command line or the TrueNAS web UI, the learning curve isn't steep, but it isn't a plug-and-play experience like a consumer-grade Synology box. Who should buy this Mini X Plus? If you're a small to medium creative professional, think video editors, graphic designers, or audio engineers who needs reliable, high-throughput storage for multiple workstations, this is a solid fit. The ability to serve both as a NAS, file sharing over SMB, NFS, AFP, and a SAN, ISC targets for VM hosts, means you can consolidate a lot of your storage infrastructure into a single chassis. It also shines in a home lab environment where you want to run Kubernetes or Proxmox clusters and need shared block storage without compromising on data safety. The built-in support for Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and Unix clients eliminates the need for separate SMB or NFS servers, and the TrueNAS Community Edition is fully open source, which is a plus if you like tweaking settings or adding plugins for media streaming. On the flip side, who should skip it? If your primary use case is simple backup of a few laptops to the cloud, you're probably better off with a cheaper, pre-populated 2-bay NAS that comes with drives and a more guided setup. The Mini X Plus also isn't ideal for anyone who wants massive expandability beyond 5 plus 2 bays. You're capped at 7 drives total, so you'll need to plan your capacity carefully if you anticipate rapid growth. And if you're not comfortable configuring ZFS pools, managing snapshots, or handling drive replacements yourself, the hands-off experience you get from consumer devices will feel more reassuring. Let's talk practical strengths. The first thing I noticed after installing a set of 6 4 terabytes drives was how quickly the system recognized the pool and presented the storage on the network. The TrueNAS web interface is clean, and you can enable SMB shares for Windows, AFP for Mac OS, and NFS for Linux with a few clicks. I set up an ISCSI target for a Proxmox VM, and the VM's disk performance matched the 10 GbE speed with no noticeable latency, perfect for running a home lab database. Snapshots are another highlight. After a client accidentally overwrote a project folder, I rolled back the dataset to a point just minutes earlier, and everything was restored. The built-in replication feature also let me sync a copy of the pool to a second mini.